Folks, welcome into sportsbookreview.com. It's Monday, and you know what? It's time to talk some Major League Baseball. Hope everybody's weekend was out there very profitable. As we like to say, it's new week, it's new money to get underway. I'm Donnie Seymour. He's Jason Radowitz, along with Kyle Purviance, and we are the sportsbookreview.com Major League Baseball team. Jason, how did your weekend go?
For once, actually swept in the MLB. Whoa. Saturday and Sunday, 2-0 on both days, so 4-0 in the MLB. It was a great weekend for me. Hopefully we can keep that going.
Yeah, Nationals on Saturday treated me extremely well by putting that baby away with a Harrison grand slam home run. Sunday wasn't doing much, watching some golf out here, Kyle, and all of a sudden a ridiculous number pops up on the live total for the Philadelphia Phillies. Another easy cash-in number. How was your weekend there, Kyle?
My weekend was great. Of course, Phil Mickelson giving us old guys some redemption, So I'm feeling good. Now, I did have a slight hiccup. I missed a 5-footer to win a match play yesterday with some friends. That was a little disappointing. I don't miss those very often. But we did hit the Braves team total we tweeted out. So I was 1-0 on some picks I gave out over the weekend. Hit the Braves yesterday. And I'm excited to be back. Happy to see you gentlemen and looking forward to a good week. Excited.
There we go. Let's kick it off in style today. Actually, on a Monday, how about this matinee baseball today between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Toronto Blue Jays as they look live here 5-3. I do have odds that are currently locked right now, but as I'm looking at the screen here, top of the fifth inning, 5-3 game, 2 outs, 1 man on second base here for the Tampa Bay Rays. And it's kind of interesting here. How about a game here? Toronto's the home team, but they're playing about 5 minutes north of Tampa Bay itself, and craziness because they probably only have like 1,000 fans at the stadium because nobody cares about either baseball team there down in Florida, but it is what it is. Lines just opened back up here. Heavy favorite here for the Rays, who jumped out to a 5-0 lead. Now, as I said, it's 5-3, minus 290 towards the Rays. An over/under down in Dunedin of 13 as a live total. Just to recap here and get some live team totals that are currently in play: 7 for the Rays, 5.5 for the Blue Jays. Any thoughts here on this game, pregame or in-game here, Jason?
So as I was doing my work early in the morning, Stripling was supposed to be the starter for the Jays. Of course, Thornton got the spot start, and then Stripling was going to follow. That changed everything, apparently, because Thornton comes in, lets up a grand slam, 5 runs in the first inning, and the Blue Jays have to now come back from being down 5-0 in the first. I liked Stripling. I thought he was going to perform well in this game. He does struggle versus righties. You look at that Rays lineup, they only have 3 righties that are really capable of hitting other righties. Yandy Diaz, Margot, not great against righties in the first place. So I thought Stripling would actually pitch well in this game, and he has so far. 4 innings, 1 hit, 1 walk, and 3 strikeouts. So basically the Jays just play themselves, and now we'll have to get back in the game with their offense. Of course, I like the offense against Yarbrough. They've hit lefties pretty well. You have Vlad Hernandez, already have homers. You saw that coming in the first place. So I do like the Blue Jays to come back and win this game as long as Stripling is pitching. But, you never know. There's that human element in a game where when you're down 5-0, it's really hard to come back no matter what's going on in the game.
Yeah, plus 220 number here as we look at it. And also taking a look at Thornton here, who did get the start, getting squeezed. Now, they were balls, which eventually led to a grand slam. But there was 2 outs, got squeezed, which made it bases loaded. Then got squeezed a little bit on a bases loaded walk. Now, as I say that again, they were balls. But when you hit the spot, a lot of the times, at least 50% of those pitches, the umpire is going to give you that call. It didn't give him any of them. That led to 5 runs, which, again, we're looking in the 5th inning here. They scored 5 runs. They still have 5 runs here as we sit in the bottom of the 5th inning. We'll keep an eye on this game as it mows along. But, Kyle, any thoughts on this game in-game as we take a look, or even pre-game that you were looking at?
I think if I look at that Blue Jays team total of 5.5, I think that makes a little bit of sense here. Tampa Bay does have a solid bullpen, but they're not world beaters by any stretch. And again, the ball just flies out of there. It's a small stadium. And Toronto, look, they've put on 3 runs now here in the last 3 or 4 innings. I don't think it's crazy for them to get 3 more. So if me personally, I'm staying away. I'm not clicking any button on this. But if I was going to, I'd probably lean that Blue Jays 5.5 total. I think that makes some sense. And if you want to wait another inning and maybe it drops to 5 and then you sort of get that free roll if they get a couple runs, go that route. So Blue Jays live team total is what I'd be looking at.
Yeah, it's a couple of these games, when they get down to like one, let's just say you have a really good pitcher on the mound, but maybe he's fading out, 80 pitches by the fifth inning. When you get that one number, it's decent. But I've always attacked live game totals and team totals in game, waiting for a base runner to get on for leverage situations. Sure. It doesn't make sense to even, look, obviously you're going to get a little bit better price, but let's just say you take in the seventh inning an over of 2.5. Nobody's on. They start to, okay, I want them to score 3 runs over the final 3 innings. Can it happen? Certainly it can. But I would love the fact that with a leadoff double where it goes from 2.5 minus 110 to 2.5 minus 130, I'll pay the 20 cents for a guy on second base because theoretically he's probably going to score, which is 2 loud outs or even obviously a base hit gets him across. Just some food for thought here as we take a look. But why don't we get to the card today and stick with our 3 marquee games? Now, the interesting thing about yesterday is lefties winning big championships. How about 8 games today? At least one lefty starter in every single game, and 2 of them in the game we're going to talk about now. 903, 904, Gomber and Peterson, both lefties on the mound. That's between Colorado and the New York Mets. Line opened at Pinnacle offshore at minus 120 as a favorite towards Peterson and the Mets. That's now risen to minus 139. FanDuel here in New Jersey, about a 125 where it opened up at. That now sits at 142. How about this number? 7.5 it opens up at. It drops to 6.5. Not as hot here in New Jersey and obviously in the Northeast as we're taking a look at the Mets who play in Flushing Meadow in Queens. But 6.5? Talk to me, Jason.
It's the Mets lineup right now. Yeah. Lots of injuries in there. And, of course, the Rockies, they're coming from home, now going all the way on the road into New York after playing a 9-inning game that ended in a walk-off fashion over there. So, I kind of agree with the low number, but either of these pitchers can definitely blow up and allow some runs. Of course, the Rockies bullpen can do the same as well. I do like the Mets in this spot. I think Peterson is the better pitcher, but it's so difficult to ride the Mets right now with that lineup looking the way it's looked. And the Rockies, they're coming off a solid series against the Diamondbacks, but now they're coming on the road, going all the way to New York for this game. Can't really see them doing much hitting either. Although they do have they do have a lot of righties in that lineup. So I can't lean either side of this game. I think Peterson's a better pitcher. The Rockies obviously have the better hitting team, but they're also coming cross country. So I wouldn't touch this game. I think it's going to be a fun one as a Mets fan if they can pull this off, but it's not worth betting.
Yeah, it's not a bad situation because Gomber, obviously, we know is in Colorado, part of that Arenado trade. But when he's pitched in Colorado, obviously that is for a deficit because you're expected to get lit up here. But his xFIP minus is only a 105, slightly above the median average in Major League Baseball. And you're right, Jason. When you take a look at the Mets lineup, you're anticipating Cameron Maybin in the 3-hole again. It's amazing how many injuries that actually takes to get Cameron Maybin as your main batter in the lineup here. But when we take a look at Colorado, it's always tough to trust them where? Outside of Colorado. And let's give credit where credit's due. David Peterson here. Take a look at some of these numbers. At 4.97 ERA, which you say is high, and it is. But look at some of the advanced numbers. His xFIP is 3.12 at the Sierra of 3.43 and also an xFIP minus number of 76. He's been really good, Kyle.
Yeah, I agree. And look, I got to say this. I've been burned by Colorado. I've taken plenty of 2s and 2.5s on Colorado and watched them score run. I think we've all done that. I know for a fact that Jason has gone through that pain. But I got to say, I'm looking at a team total of 3 at minus 125. I like it. I like it quite a bit. Let's look at these righties here for Colorado. Let's look at the advantages here. 52%. 2%, not that big. 29, 8, 1, 21. You've got Story, you've got Crone. Blackman's actually 3-year OPS against lefties is better than it is against righties. I kind of like this Rockies team total. I'm feeling a little value menu wager on this one. So give me that Rockies team total over 3. I think they can get it done against Peterson. And I sort of like, look, the Mets lineup is really, really bad. And I'm going to send in the tape of myself. Maybe I can get myself in the 3-hole. I'm pretty sure I could do what Cameron Maybin does on the base. I'm almost certain of it, as a matter of fact. That Mets lineup is really, really bad, but Gomber is beatable. I don't mind the over. I would probably lean the over 6.5 on this game, but I do like that Rockies team total. It's a lot of pain. It's going to hurt, but give me that Rockies team total over 3 minus 125.
Yeah, no, I hear you on that too, because when you take a look at these ultra low numbers that you have, now hear me out on this. Let's just say in the first inning, the Colorado Rockies attack with 3 runs. Oh man, I should have taken the 3 for the game. I understand that. But theoretically, you're probably not going to miss that number. Why? Because if the team total came in at 3, if they scored 3 runs in the first inning, they'll probably make their team total for the game 6. So what did you really actually miss out on? You're basically starting from 0 once again after that big time inning. But when you look at the flip side here, if you take the over 3 to start that game, and we see the 5th and the 6th inning, it's a 0-0 game, that number drops to 1. And you're looking at 1 run over the final 4 innings as a worst-case scenario for a free roll. It's amazing the advantages that you do get from live betting because theoretically, as I said again, you might cash that ticket on the pregame total, but that number theoretically is still there the entire way no matter what it is. The same way we look at this Tampa Bay-Toronto game, they just overinflate the price, but when you break it down, it's really still the original number that you have another chance to get into for the game. So it's always interesting stuff. Go ahead.
If that happens to the Mets, sure, the Mets lineup stinks, but so does the Rockies bullpen. It's the second worst bullpen in baseball. So if you're getting a total at 1 in the 6th, 7th, 8th, 6th or 7th inning, obviously they usually close it down after the 7th inning.
Yes.
It's almost a free square. That bullpen's 5.51 ERA, second worst in baseball. So it might be something to keep an eye on live betting wise late in this game for a Mets total.
It's another good point you bring up because even on most sports books, the one I think is the best for me that fits my eye is FanDuel does a great job because they do keep those team totals live up to around the 7th inning, usually cut them off midway through the 7th inning. But you still get the live in-game total that you can use for your discretion, even if there isn't each of a side. So let's just say it's a 1-1 game. They put it at 3.5. Leadoff double. You're like, hey, wait a second here. If this guy scores, then I need one more run. Or sometimes it even comes in yesterday with the Philadelphia Phillies game where they hung a ridiculous number in the 8th inning with 2 men on and nobody out for the Philadelphia Phillies. I forget what the exact, I'm going to say it was 4-1. So the over-under in that game was, I believe, 5.5 at plus 128 with first and second on and nobody out with Ronald Torreyes coming up to the plate. And the best part about it is as I'm watching the game, Torreyes turns the bunt on the first pitch but doesn't get the bunt down. They don't move the number. You automatically know he's bunting those guys over. So when he does, all you need is a sacrifice fly, which McCutchen did get. Now, granted, there were more runs after that, but sometimes they're hanging plus money numbers that make absolutely no sense when the time of the game comes up. Like, oh, they haven't scored all day. They're not going to score in this situation. Keep those eyes peeled and certainly make some money on those in-game live wagers. And again, we just share some of the info that we like and chime in on what we think makes sense. Those opportunities are out there nightly, even if you don't have a pregame wager. Let's keep moving on here. Another lefty. This is the ace game right here. Good one. 905, 906, 740. First pitch, Snell versus Woodruff. Snell the lefty versus Woodruff, obviously the righty. Another game low here. 7s across the board. A slight favorite towards Milwaukee. Jason, we'll start with you first on this game as we take a look. Brandon Woodruff, 73 xFIP minus, 1.58 ERA, 2.98 xFIP, and a Sierra 315. He's been lights out. But Blake Snell not having the sensational year that we anticipate, but check out some of his advanced numbers here for him. I mean, we're talking about a 3.32 xFIP and a 3.82 Sierra. These guys are dealing, man.
Yeah, Woodruff not getting any run support this season as really any Brewers pitcher this season. So, yeah, Woodruff's been great, but not getting any run support. Can the Brewers score off of Snell? I would think so. I mean, look, Snell has been a little bit worse, obviously, to righties. A weighted OBA of 372, ISO 217. The exit velocity kind of high off the bat as well. You look at that lineup, the main bats in the Brewers lineup, they're lefties. Wong, Yelich, Shaw, they're all lefties. Shouldn't do much damage against Snell. Now you rely on Garcia and Kane, and those guys can't hit lefties for all season long. They haven't hit lefties at all. So yeah, this is an under game. I do think the Brewers kind of sneak out towards the end of the game. I do think the public's obviously going to be on the Padres. They looked really great over the weekend, but it was against a team that really, whatever. So I do think that this is an even matchup. I do think the Brewers end up winning. I would fade that trendy dog that everyone's going to be putting on the Padres, and I would look at towards the Brewers. But it's going to be a close game. It's going to be really close, and it might finish the 9th inning where the Brewers walk off in the 9th or 10th inning. But I would be careful taking the Padres here. But, obviously the Padres have a chance to win this as well. They're playing lights out right now.
Yeah, you're right. And there is one shot you can get off of Snell because he has struggled a little bit versus right-handed batters this year. 372 weighted on base averages, 217 ISO power number. But when you look at that lineup here and the damage that maybe the Brewers hopefully can do, it leaves a little bit to be desired. But also, Kyle, taking a look from the opposite direction, Woodruff, the righty, going up, who's having an excellent year. Yeah. Not a great profiling lineup, at least for this year, from what we're going to be presented to for the Padres. 2+ batters in the lineup for me, Cronenworth and Tatis. Everybody else struggling or below at a weighted on-base average versus right-handed pitching. And this isn't just any normal right-handed pitcher. This is Woodruff on the mound tonight, Kyle.
Yeah, exactly. So we love to talk about the no runs first inning. This was the one that jumped off the page to me. I think both these pitchers should be able to get out of the first inning. Of course, the concern is Tatis is hitting in that first inning, and he can hit anyone, anywhere, and he has been absolutely red hot. There's just no doubt about that, but neither lineup profiles well. I mean, you're right. What righties do we like in this Milwaukee lineup? Garcia, I mean, he's got a 60% advantage here. He's got a little bit of pop in his bat. And then Lorenzo Cain, I mean, is that Willie Adams? I mean, what are we afraid of in this lineup? So I do think this game leans to an under a little bit. Let's not forget, Snell has not been an innings eater, and he hasn't been sensational, that's for sure. But what has been sensational is that Padres bullpen. It's right now the best bullpen in baseball. A full 2 runs better, by the way, than Milwaukee's. I think if we would have said before the year started that a team would have a 2 full run advantage over the ERA of that Milwaukee bullpen, we would have said you were crazy. But that's kind of what we have going on here. Really tough to take aside. I think the under 7 makes a lot of sense because of these 2 strong bullpens and starting pitchers. But my official play for this will be a value menu play. I like the no runs first inning. Don't like a lot of the lineups for either side. Tatis would be the only one I play in DFS just because he is so hot and he can hit off of anyone. But I don't know. No runs first inning and leaning the under on this one.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because it looks like with the weather, 71 degrees, it's a retractable dome up in Milwaukee. It's anticipated to be open, so maybe a bump to the bats if it does stay open. But you're going to need a lot of bump to the bats between these 2 lineups and certainly with these pitchers that profile against them. We'll see what happens a little bit later tonight. Let's get to the final game on the card. 8:10 p.m. tonight, St. Louis and the Chicago White Sox. Red alert here, but is it really? Lefty on the mound here versus the Chicago White Sox. Kim and Lynn, 179 as a favorite now, Offshore Pinnacle, 184 as a favorite here in New Jersey at FanDuel for the Chicago White Sox. Game opened up at 8 to 8.5, depending on where you're shopping at. But right now, sitting at 8.5 across the board. Is it an auto bet for you today, Jason? Just looking at the White Sox here, got their clocks cleaned in New York, but now face a lefty as they come home.
And that's the problem. The White Sox offense hasn't looked fantastic, especially over the weekend. Now they got Kim. But be careful here because Kim, again, he's a lefty, but against the righties, 271 weighted OBA, ISO of .091. So he's been really good against righties, worse against lefties. Maybe Eden will be the only lefty in the lineup for the White Sox. If that, or it could be 9 righties in the lineup. I know the public is obviously going to love the White Sox against the lefty, but I wouldn't just blindly do it. I do think the White Sox are still the favorites in this game. They do have Lance Lynn on the mound, who's been more sensational than Kim has been. So I do still like the White Sox in the first 5 innings, but I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a 0-0 game through the first 5 innings. Also wouldn't be surprised if the White Sox have 5 runs through 3 innings. So I'd be careful with this one. I still agree with the White Sox, but I would just be a little cautious here. Kim has been a lot better versus righties this season, even as a lefty. So I would stay away. But Lynn, of course, the much better pitcher here.
Yeah, we take a look at some of the numbers here from Kim at 2.73 ERA, 3.78 xFIP, and a Sierra of 3.96. When we take a look, Kyle, at the profiling here of the Chicago White Sox lineup, the middle of the order hits lefties extremely well. Abreu, 420 weighted on base average with a 424 ISO power number. Yerman Mercedes, 216 ISO, 468 weighted on base average. Grandal, 273 ISO power number, weighted on base average 469. Then Vaughn, 355 ISO power number and 442. Sometimes we like to just auto play the Chicago White Sox in this type of environment, but a decent pitcher on the mound here for St. Louis.
Yeah, the thing about him, he is good, but he's also not an innings eater either. I mean, his last 3 starts, he's pitched a combined 12 innings, so it's not like this guy's going to go out there and dominate for 9 innings. Cardinals bullpen, it's okay. It's near the bottom half, 4.3 team ERA as a bullpen. I do like the White Sox here in the first 5, minus 0.5 at minus 125. I like Lynn a lot. It's the second lowest weighted 3-year OPS from pitcher to lineup today. I think Lynn should dominate. So White Sox minus first five, minus 125 makes or minus .5 in the first five makes a ton of sense for me. And I also think the under in the first 5 innings at minus 105, minus 4.5 runs. If the White Sox are cooled off a little bit, maybe they only hit this guy for a couple of runs. I just don't see a lot coming from the St. Louis side against Lynn. I like Lynn here. I like the White Sox in the first five. We're leading the under in the first 5 innings as well. But the play I like the most is for the White Sox minus .5, minus 125 in the first 5 innings.
Yeah, we take a look at the Mets game that's going to get underway in Queens. That's about low 60s. This game actually in Chicago going to get underway at around the mid 80s. So you do have some hitting weather in that game. We'll see if it takes shape and see what happens here. But let's get to some value menu wagers on the card tonight. Jason, I'm going to start with you first. Where's that value at as we maybe fire on some fast food?
I tried to make this an official play. I really tried.
It's official. I just official.
Couldn't. The Tigers minus .5 in the first 5 innings going up against Sam Hench's. He's been awful this season. Righties, lefties, especially against righties. The Tigers, they're going to have probably a full lineup of righties as Hench's is a lefty pitcher. So you have the Tigers, they're going to have 9 righties in the lineup against Hench's, who's got a .472 weighted OBA against righties and an ISO of 313. The Tigers should definitely score some runs in this game. It's just that their offense just really hasn't done well against lefties so far this season. Of course, their offense has been better the last week or two, but still just too hard for me to take the Tigers in this spot. But with Turnbull on the mound coming off a no-hitter, that's also another reason why I'm staying away. But he's been terrific throughout the entire season, kind of one of the better Tigers starting pitchers so far this year. So I do like the Tigers minus .5 in the first 5, but it is kind of funny. If you look at the first 5, the money line for the Tigers, minus 160. The full game for the Tigers, minus 125. So the odds makers are thinking like I'm thinking. If you're going to take the Tigers, take them in the first 5, not the full game, because that bullpen is atrocious.
Yeah, it's interesting stuff when we take a look at where the value is going to lie today, because the card is shaping up for myself. I don't have a lot of games that I really like, and sometimes it just lines up that way. Friday night, I had 2 doubleheader, play of the days that I loved, fired away. They hit easily. Both teams got over 10 runs, but sometimes you have to pull back some of the reins. Kyle, where's the value at tonight for you on this card?
I'm going to take that Rockies team total over 3. I just think those righties, Crone, Hampson, Story, etc., can get it done today. It's 3 runs. I think they can score on that bullpen as well, so I'll take that over 3 for some value menu. Also, the no runs first inning, Padres, Brewers. I think you can lock that in for a few McNuggets tonight, or in my case, I like to get myself fries on a Frosty because I love to dip my fries in the Frosty and to sprinkle a little home run prop since everyone loves those, and I'd love to get back on fire with these. I have Jose Abreu as one of my favorite home run props today. Full 20 points better against lefties over the last 3 years. I think he gets it done tonight, hits it out of the park. Little 2-run blast early. We win that first 5 innings, hit a home run prop, stay under the 4.5. All sorts of winners there. So I'll take Abreu on the home run prop as well.
All right, no movement here in this Tampa Bay-Toronto game. Still 5-3 in the bottom of the 6th inning now with 2 outs and nobody on. We'll see how that game ends up here. For my value menu wager today, it's just a straight fade. It's not even the lineup that I like so much. And I'm talking about the Baltimore Orioles as they go up against Matt Shoemaker. If we look at his numbers, and again, this is just a straight fade, only striking out 14% of the batters that he's faced this year, walking around 10% of the guys. Batting average against him is .261. But let's take a look at these numbers that really are hilarious to me. An xFIP minus number of 131. So he's 31% worse than the Major League Baseball average due to ballparks here and leagues. ERA 6.08, xFIP 5.42, a Sierra number, a complete disaster at 5.39. FanDuel Sportsbook listing a 4.5 as a team total, minus 104 before the show. I'm going to think those Baltimore Orioles can get to 5 runs today. Not in love with the play, but it's a straight fade on a pitcher who is a really good outing, is maybe 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Well, we're more than halfway there as we head to the bullpen. You're going to get a full 9 at-bats in this one. And also, I was really close to taking a sneaky play with the Minnesota team total against John Means in this game, but I pulled back on that. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Orioles in this one as a team total over 4.5. Let's get to the best bets on the card today. Jason, out of these 8 games, technically 7 since we have 1 underway right now, is there a best bet or banker that you are zeroed in on today?
It's a little juicy, but, with the slate that we have, I can't really do much about it. I'm on the Athletics in the full game at minus 157 against the Mariners. Kikuchi on the mound against Frankie Montes of Oakland. Kikuchi starting to kind of struggle a little bit in the last, I think, 6 starts, 5 of them. Or in 5 of them, he's allowed 3 earned runs or more in 5 of those 6 starts. He's still consistent going 6 innings pitched and kind of crashes late in games. That's why I'm taking that full game instead of the first 5 here. But the Athletics have been really good against lefties so far this season. They have a couple guys in the lineup at the top of the order, like Canna, Chapman, Pinder, all have high-weighted OBA against lefty as right-handed batters. Olsen also good against lefties as well. And Laureano hasn't done well against Kikuchi, but he has done well against lefties in the past. So I do like the lineup there for the Athletics and the Mariners. That lineup is just dreadful. Lewis, Crawford, Nottingham, Murphy, Haggerty, Walton, they've all just been terrible against righties this season. Montez starting to figure it out a little bit. 4 starts in May, has allowed 3 earned runs or less in all of them, 2 quality starts, and the other ones were 2 earned runs or less with like 5 innings pitched in those games. So I do like the Athletics in this spot at home. The Mariners stay on the road, going to Oakland. I just don't see the Mariners winning after they've already lost 6 straight games. So I'm on the Athletics minus 157 in the full game here.
There you go. Take it away, Kyle. What do you got? Best bets and bankers here on your card tonight.
Well, I only have one. I like to give 2, but today I just feel 1, and I'm going to be the square, boring guy who takes the chance here. I'm going to take the White Sox minus 0.5 in the first 5, minus 125. I'm going to keep riding the train. Yeah, it's derailed a couple of times here, but I think they can get it done. And I like how Lynn profiles against this lineup tonight. Arenado, Goldschmidt do not have great splits against Lynn. So I'm going to take the White Sox first 5, minus 0.5, minus 125. That's my official play of the day.
I had the double barrels going on Friday night. Today, I don't have any. So like Michael Jordan's security guard, and he's just like, that's really what I feel like today.
I'm going to get you. I'm feeling better now. All this Michael Jordan bashing, I'm coming for you. I'm unhappy.
There's plenty of bashing to go around in that department here. But tonight really sets up, because the best part about it is I have a small play there, as I said, on the Baltimore Orioles team total over. But you never know where that really good spot opens up here tonight in some live betting situations. So as we always say, you see the Twitter accounts below each one of our names. Give us a follow. If you have any questions that pop up, a lot of people slide into my DMs. Hey, what do you think about this game? What do you think about that game? If I don't have a feel, I always tell you, like, hey, didn't look at that game, good luck. Because it's like, hey, I really like this game tonight. If I like the game tonight, you'll know it on Twitter. If we go live on a game, these guys will tell you on Twitter, hey, look at this spot. This pitcher's going to drop out of this game. Let's fire ahead on it. So give us a follow on Twitter to get these plays even after the show, because when things pop up, you never know. Hey, Kyle likes a team total here. I like a team total there. Jason's on an interesting spot. We'll be able to let you know on that. The odds lightning round, crash the thunder and the lightning as we get out of here and spin it around. Major League Baseball, Philadelphia Phillies here, 901-902. Zach Eflin versus Rogers, the lefty on the mound. Slight favorite to the Marlins, Jason, and I agree.
I'm not so sure I agree here.
But you have to agree with I do. Come on.
Yeah, look, the Phillies, they've been a lot better against lefties this season. Look, Rogers has been a great pitcher, but I do think the Phillies kind of show out in this spot. I'm not so high on the Marlins hitting so far this season, and I do think Eflin can hold it down just a bit, and the Phillies can score a couple runs. They'll be just fine. McCutchen, Hoskins, even Herrera, they've got all high-weighted OBAs against lefties. Segura also. So I do think the Phillies have a little bit of an edge here when it comes to their offense. And, the Marlins, they really, their offense really just doesn't have much going here against, average pitchers or above average pitchers. So I do think the Phillies in the first 5 innings, plus 115 in the first 5. You can even get plus 0.5 in the first 5 there. I do like the Phillies in the spot. I think that they get it going here offensively.
There you go. XFIP minus number for Rogers in 82, which is good. ERA 1.74, XFIP 3.33. I like what you're saying here. I hope the Phillies come to play, but the Marlins usually have my Philadelphia Phillies numbers here as we just move it down. Henches versus Turnbull. Is this one of those spots? Because we always talk about fading after a fantastic start. Turnbull's not Chris Sale. Turnbull's not Clayton Kershaw. I expect it each and every night. We didn't expect a no-hitter out of Turnbull here. The lefty Henches on the mound. How long he'll go, not a great pitcher. 9s across the board, Kyle, and a slight favor here. Detroit is a favorite anytime, anywhere. Yeah. Talk to me, Kyle.
It's so weird. So I do like the Tigers in the first 5 innings here, but you can never bet the Tigers a full game because they have the worst bullpen in baseball. They can be up 6-0 and cruising and give up 8 runs in the 8th inning. So for me, I do agree. Henches is so bad. And look, I don't love that Detroit lineup. Cabrera has actually been very, very good in his career, if you want to trust a guy, who's 800 years old and at the tail end of his career. But a slight lean here to the Tigers, and I'll take them in the first 5 innings, minus 0.5 at minus 110. You just can't bet them full game. You just can't do it.
John means business here, Jason, going up against Shoemaker tonight. How about, are we getting set up on this one? Because Minnesota seemingly now coming to life, still without Byron Buxton. The lineup does look decent. Is this one of those spots where Means finally came back down to earth in his last start, and that's what we expect out of it? Because when you're looking at pitching performances, if we just take the pitchers in the equation here, Baltimore has the much better pitcher in this one, but we're looking at a pick 'em.
And I agree with what you said earlier. Both teams should hit their team total over. Means is a lefty, and the Twins have hit lefties pretty well this season, despite a really poor start from the Twins on the regular season. But yeah, I agree. The over for both spots here, over 9 for the full game, even looks like a great look there as well. So I do agree with the over. Both teams have lots of power here. 4 lefties in the lineup, power from Mullins, Mancini, Santander, Galvis. Then you also have like Garlick, Donaldson, Cruz, Polanco, Garver, Ref Snyder even gets on base. So Sano obviously had a 3 home run game. So I do agree with the over 9 here.
There you go. Last game we'll talk about Seattle and Oakland. Kikuchi the lefty versus Montas the righty in Oakland, minus 155 at Pinnacle, minus 166 at FanDuel here in New Jersey. Kyle, quick thoughts on the West Coast matchup here.
I think I like the A's today. I'm looking at their team total right at 4 at minus 115. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think they can get there against the lefty. You got good righties in this A's lineup. Laureano, Murphy, Chapman, Piscotty even has an advantage here. So I do lean to the A's. I think Montas can shut down that less than scary Seattle lineup. There are a couple lefties, Seager and Kalenic, this kid batting leadoff and doing absolutely nothing, profile kind of nicely. But other than that, not so much.
Say it louder, would you?
I don't have that much confidence in it. That's why I bail out on it. Kalenic? Colonic?
Yeah,
I'll just call him colonic.
We're
just going to clean his colon. That's the colon cleaner, Jared Kalenic. At the beginning, he's going to get up, strike out. No, I like the A's here. I'll lean the A's first 5 as well. I know Jason really likes the A's today. Full game. I agree with that. Minus 115, minus 0.5 in the first 5. And that team total for the A's at 4 makes a little bit of sense for me as well.
Let's clear these bases as we get out of here tonight. If you want to be a better Major League Baseball bettor, the information is right here at sportsbookreview.com. Look at the link below, sbrpicks.com/MLB. Picks, videos, everything you need to be a better Major League Baseball bettor. 36 thumbs up, no thumbs down, about 250 people watching the show now. Fantastic stuff. Let's recap of what we have. Me personally, don't have a best bet and banker, but I am going to lay down a little bit of money here on the Baltimore Orioles. Team total over 4.5, minus 104 at FanDuel. As these live game wagers pop their head, hopefully I'll be able to get in play and pick up some dollars. Jason, wrap it up here with your plays and also some of those value wagers as well.
Yeah, right now I'm on the Athletics, minus 157 for the full game. That game starts at 9:40 Eastern time, so that should be lots of fun. And look, I have some value here with the Tigers in the first 5 innings, minus 0.5 in the first 5. And I was talking to Kyle earlier. You guys want an NBA play? Jimmy Butler over 1.5 on the threes. I'm on that at plus 180. So if anyone wants to put that one in and wants to trash me after it doesn't hit, blame me. Whatever you want to do with it, completely fine. I'm not a big NBA guy, but I do see Butler shooting a ton of threes. So that is some value there if you want that as well.
Somebody behind the scenes at SBR needs to cut that right there, put it out on Twitter so I can bash it and go, why is the guy with glasses talking about the NBA on a baseball show? What's wrong with him? Kyle, go ahead, wrap it up with your best bet bankers and also give us a recap on some value wagers.
Well, I do actually like the Jimmy Butler prop, in fairness, just saying. So I got the White Sox first 5, minus 0.5, minus 125. We're on that value menu. I like that Rockies team total over 3, minus 125. Also, no runs first inning. Padres, Brewers, that's probably going to be juiced up. I have no idea what the number is, but I bet it's not that friendly. I'll do a little home run sprinkle on Jose Abreu. And I think that was all the value menu plays I had. I always forget when you ask. I'm always so nervous for this question because I forget shit so fast. I don't know what happened. But I think that's everything right there. White Sox is my official play of the day, of course.
All right, and also I'll give an extra play out here. The Wings and the Liberty are playing tonight at 7 p.m. Yeah, I'm not going there. So now, get out of here. Ain't no way I'm going to the WNBA.
Dallas Wings. That's a young team in WNBA, and so are the Liberty. But the Liberty just don't have the inside presence to deal with the Kayla Thorntons, et cetera. So I do kind of like Dallas tonight.
The best part about it is I just hit a Google search real quick at the WNBA, and the Wings, like I heard of the Liberty, but like I have no idea who the Wings are, and I will never even care who the Wings are. But that'll wrap it up here for the Major League Baseball show right here on sportsbookreview.com. Thank you guys for joining us on a Monday here. Action-packed show, 7 games getting underway a little bit later. Follow us on Twitter. If we have any live wagers, we will certainly dish those out. I'm Donnie Seymour for Jason Radowitz and Kyle Purviance. We are sportsbookreview.com, and this was your Major League Baseball show for Monday. Good luck on those wagers.